Just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of something I just picked up. Yes, it's a Riot shotgun. And if you look here, this is a High Standard Riot shotgun. Cool thing about these, metal trigger guard. The action works almost exactly like a Mossberg 500. Slide releases back here behind the trigger guard, but it does have a cross bolt safety here. Based on these letters on the barrel, ES, it was manufactured in 1974 in October. If you guys have seen my channel at all, you know my love for police and military shotguns, especially the old wood furniture ones. So this is one I picked up. It was 229 bucks. I couldn't pass it up. For those of you that know your car movie history, this is also the same style shotgun that Steve McQueen used in the movie The Getaway. So I've probably said at least a dozen times in my previous videos that I used to have a High Standard K1200 or an 18-6 Riot shotgun, and the reason I really wanted this shotgun was that Steve McQueen used it in the movie The Getaway. Well, after 2.5, 3 years of looking, I finally was able to purchase another one. This one came to me as the same model as the original one I had. It's basically a K1200 or an 18-6 model. But this one is in nicer shape than the previous one I had. This one actually has a bead sight on the front of it. It's not nearly as beat up, but it came with a pistol grip on it. This to me is a little bit weird. It's a Choate machine and tool pistol grip, and I can't really tell if this is something somebody boogered together or if this was actually something that Choate machine and tool put together and sold back in the 70s or 80s. I haven't been able to find any information on it, and looking at it, it basically looks like a piece of 1x3 steel tubing that somebody welded a plate on the front and drilled a hole in the bottom and welded a nut in to put a standard pistol grip on it. So I'm not sure if this was really something that, you know, Choate Machine and Tool sold. However, this particular High Standard shotgun is in really, really good shape. It does have a little bit of marks on the foregrip. It has some scratches on the barrels here and there, but the bluing is in really good condition, and the action on this one is very, very tight and very smooth. The previous one I had was a year model older than this one. This one's a 1975, the other one was a 74, and the other one felt like it probably had like 10,000 rounds through it. When you would hold the gun pointed up in the air and you would push the slide release, the action would fall open without any resistance whatsoever. But this thing has the smoothest action ever. You just drop the mag release and the slide goes down. So, I mean, it's about as smooth as you can possibly get on the action on a shotgun. So the action on my new one is as smooth as the old one was, but it's not as loose, so it doesn't drop open quite as easily. However, I don't really care. The overall finish on this gun is in much, much better condition. It looks like it's been fired not heavily. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a really long time, and it probably banged around in a closet. It looks like it has paint all over the foregrip from being banged up against the wall, but the bluing is in pretty good shape except for a few scratches here and there. And again, this one has a front sight on it where my other one did not. If you look inside the end of that pistol grip, again, this really irritates me. Somebody actually ground down the end of the receiver where it would normally go into the stock to get this pistol grip to work, which again kind of lends itself to the fact that maybe this was something somebody made at home and had it blued. But then again, I don't know. In the 1980s, Choate Machine and Tool didn't really always have the highest quality parts, so it's possible that this was actually manufactured and sold, but I cannot find any information online about it. So if you have any information, drop it in the comments. Now again, I mentioned this is made in 1975. If you look at the date code on the barrel, it says AT, and looking that up again, that's January of 1975. The stock setup on this is very similar to a Mossberg 500, although I think the rear tang portion where the hammer spring resides is a little bit longer in the frame. So I do have this pistol grip and this bird's head grip from a Mossberg 500 that I'm going to attempt to see if they fit. And even though, again, this little divot in there where the receiver drops in may not be deep enough, I may need to trim it out. But if it doesn't fit, I'm going to go ahead and find a wooden stock for this because, again, to me, even though there were some Mossberg 500 ATP police and tactical shotguns that were set up exactly like this, that's not exactly the look I'm going for with this. I really want it to look
like my original K1200, which had a full stock. But just for reference, here's a Mossberg 500 ad from the 1980s that was marketed towards the police and tactical realms, or the law enforcement. But at any rate, I am more than happy to finally have another K1200 or K120 or 18.6 High Standard Riot shotgun in my stable. I have been after one of these for a long time, and it just so happened that it came in January of 2024. In my previous video, I talked about guns that I wanted to buy this year, and this was one of them. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is the greater good.